Peru news today. All you need to know about Peru.
Peru says, historic. Argentina defeated Brazil 1-0 at the Maracaná and is the leader of the South American Qualifiers. Nicolás Otamendi scored Argentina's winning goal against Brazil at the Maracaná. Historical. Argentina, with a header from Nicolás Otamendi, beat Brazil 1-0 at the Maracaná and, with this, broke the scratch streak in the South American Qualifiers. The victory, in a classic marred by a violent incident in the stands, allows Argentina to end the year as the leader of the qualifying rounds with 15 points, 2 more than Uruguay, its immediate runner-up. The humiliating defeat in the legendary stadium in Rio, on the other hand, sank Brazil to 6th place in the standings, the last place that guarantees a place for the World Cup, and left the interim coach, Fernando Diniz, on a tightrope, whose head was asked for. Shouting at the Maracaná. Diniz's strategy of realigning Brazil with 4 attackers again left the defense vulnerable and cost Brazil dearly. Brazil, which in its last qualifying matches lost to Uruguay, Colombia, and Argentina, had not lost 3 official matches in a row since 2001. The victory, on the other hand, allowed the world champions to forget the historic defeat they suffered in La Bombonera last Thursday against Uruguay, the first since they were crowned in Qatar 2022. The classic began almost half an hour late because, faced with a general fight in the stands where the Argentine fans were concentrated in a strong police repression, the Albiceleste players tried to calm things down and, before the failure of their attempts, they retreated to the locker room for 17 minutes while they waited for the confusion to be controlled. The heated atmosphere in the stands transferred to the field, with several violent plays in the first minutes and a yellow card in the 5th minute for Gabriel Jesus for a blow to the face that left DePaul's nose bleeding. Shortly after, Raphinha also saw yellow for another attack on DePaul's face. In a match truncated by fouls, Brazil began to take control with escapes from Rodrigo on both sides, but they were easily neutralized by an Argentina more interested in slowing down the pace of the game with passes without depth. Messi, with little freedom and subdued, tried to create plays on the left that generated little danger. The world champion complained of some discomfort halfway through the first half and even asked for attention off the court but remained in the game. Brazil also tried with plays by Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and even the winger Emerson Royal but was always contained outside the area and without finishing by an Argentina that at that point had completely retreated. Canarinho put pressure in the last 5 minutes, when they finally finished and had their best opportunities, first with a shot from Rodrigo that Enzo Fernandez contained and then with one from Martinelli in which Romero was instrumental in avoiding the Brazilian goal. Brazil came back stronger for the second half and put pressure in the first minutes, in which both Rodrigo, Raphinha and Martinelli had clear opportunities to open the scoring. But, when Brazil was at its best, Argentina's first advance was enough to reverse the situation. After a corner kick taken by Lo Celso, Otamendi jumped higher than the Brazilian defenders to open the scoring in the 62nd minute against an astonished Maracaná team that immediately began to ask for the head of the interim coach, Fernando Diniz. With the partial advantage, the Argentine coach, Lionel Scaloni, reinforced his defense and oxygenated the attack, even with the entry of Di Maria in place of Messi, while the Brazilian tried to increase the offensive power with the entry of the young promise Endrick and the creative Rafael Veiga. Again, when Brazil seemed better and was looking for an equalizer, Joelinton's expulsion for an attack on DePaul ended up leaving Argentina with a numerical advantage when they only had 10 minutes left to manage their advantage on the scoreboard. Argentina took advantage of the Brazilian desperation in the last minutes and spent more time on the attack, with passes that were applauded by the Brazilian public, already out of patience with the Canarinha. Subscribe and follow us on our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok.
Peru news today. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.